start with
Kingery.
Ryan. Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
Um, 2 rounds.
2 rounds.
2 rounds. Scored a knockout. It was in Indio, California. Fantasy Springs. Can we take anything away from this?
It's not a lot, man. He didn't give
Yeah.
us enough. I was hoping this would go at least 5 rounds.
At least 5?
At least 5. I was hoping. You knew it was gonna end in a knockout,
Yeah.
but
When we were talking about it, that was the only thing I was kind of looking for, the knockout.
yeah.
And he got it. I didn't really care how many rounds.
Mhm.
Because lately I don't want to say he had been struggling, but he hadn't gotten those big knockouts lately. So second round knockout, I think it's good for him.
Mhm.
Is there anything in particular that you liked from his performance?
I mean, again, there wasn't a lot that you could take away. I love seeing his speed, letting his hands go.
Yeah.
That's something that you always enjoy. Just seeing a fighter let his hands go. Because sometimes nerves get to some of these fighters, and they clinch up and they just tighten up. And nope, not Ryan. He before the knockout, he just let them go. Not everything landing, but he knew what the intentions were, and they were bad. So
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him. I liked what I saw. It looked like a good show.
yeah, oh yeah,
You
sold
know,
out.
He got a quick knockout, spectacular knockout. After the fight was over, he had Canelo on one side,
Mhm.
Oscar on the other side.
Yeah.
He had some interesting words toward the Mayweather camp.
Yeah,
So I was entertained by the whole event.
Yeah.
It looked good. It looked good.
yeah. You have when you have a Oscar Golden Boy. He was a fighter that at one time was able to get those fans that normally don't check into boxing. And so
Yeah.
this is what Ryan is doing now. He's getting, fans that normally don't tune in interested, and that's always good. And that showed with that sold out, Indio show. And this just shows that maybe he needs a bigger venue now. If he sold this one out, and I'm pretty sure there was more tickets that could have sold if this venue was bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, having Canelo, having the present face of boxing there, says a lot. And yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting because you kind of saw like 3 generations, right? Oscar, our
Mhm.
generation, when we grew up watching
Yeah.
boxing, and Canelo, the present, and then the guy who we talked about it before, right?
Yeah.
Can he be the future of boxing?
Mm-hmm.
Can he bring it back, quote unquote? And one thing that was really interesting, I saw it on Chicana Boxings. I don't know if it was like her Twitter or Instagram. She showed the crowd, right? And it was a bunch of women
Mm-hmm.
cheering for Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, that's what Oscar did, right? Bringing those people who normally don't go to the venues or want to pay for a boxing fight, bring in that interest, and that's what Ryan Garcia can do.
Yeah. Yeah, and those words that he gave Mayweather, just something like he's not scared. Obviously, he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, fight Mayweather's fighter, the one that we had on the show via phone call. But
Say his name, man.
Rolly. I do like Rolly. I like Rolly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to fight him now. And then it's something that we told him. I was like, Rolly, it doesn't have to
Yeah.
happen now. We do want to see it eventually. We would love to see that fight because of the, the show that would be outside of the ring.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in the driver's seat. He can say whatever. Like you say this a lot, Gio. Like sometimes fighters can say whatever they want because, it might not happen immediately. But
But I like Rolly's response when we asked him that.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think it's smarter to, let it marinate a little bit? You guys can make a little more money
yeah,
down the road. And he was like, fuck that. I want it now. I like that response.
that's a true fighter right there, right?
Yeah.
Man, and there's been some talk going between these two guys, and it's good for boxing. Let it marinate. Let them,
Yeah.
blow it up still.
Did
But
you hear anything about what Ryan said, like, backstage about that potential fight?
what did he say? I heard something about the money that.
Yeah.
But
That's the clip I saw
okay.
where they asked him, and then he was saying, well, I don't need him. He needs me, right? Which I think everybody can agree with that.
Mhm.
And he also said, oh, yeah, there's a lot of money, the 200K or whatever.
Mhm.
And he was like, I don't need the money.
Yeah.
I get money outside of boxing. you know, this guy, he gets money only through boxing, so he needs boxing and he needs me, right? So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that's a clip that I saw. I thought that part was interesting.
Yeah, and I think Chicana made a good comparison of these two guys. It's like De La Hoya Mayorga ish in a way. You know, you do need a Mayorga type
Yeah.
to sell the fight, to make it bigger than what it, you know, it might be in the ring. You know, when you have a good dance partner,
Yeah.
that can make for fireworks inside the ring.
It always takes two to tango.
It
Like,
does,
it's difficult to sell an event by yourself. You know, only
Yeah.
so many can do it, right? You can count them probably on one hand. The Pacquiaos of the world, the Canelos, even Anthony Joshua. You know, Mayweather was able to do it by himself, Oscar De La Hoya, right? But it's difficult. And I think later on, those two guys are going to need each other because of that entertainment aspect. But you know what? At first, I'm like, who's this Rolly kid, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was telling you, but I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was cool. You know, you said you talked to him after his fight here at the StubHub Center, right? Seemed like a cool dude.
Seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah. Yeah, he's growing on me.
Yeah.
Despite all the antics and the sparring champion or whatever he wants to call himself. But
again, at the end of the day, it's a business. This kind of business, you need entertainment, and that's what Broly does bring. And I was gonna make a point about this right now.
For my part, I can appreciate that if you bring the entertainment aspect, regardless of what you're doing. Obviously, if it's not out of line, I'm with it.
Yeah, he does have a small following, but a fervent like following where like his supporters really do, back him to beat Ryan, and I think he taps into a good demographic. So the same way Canelo has a certain demographic that loves him, there's another demographic that doesn't like him. Doesn't
Speaking about
Canelo. So I'm saying like there's two demographics: the fans that Ryan has and the ones that Rolly has, and so. Okay, so I remember my point. So the two guys that Ryan just fought, obviously, like nobody's gonna remember them. Why? Because they don't have that. Not just they're not at his level, but they weren't even able to make it entertaining outside of the ring. And this is what Rolly does bring.
Yeah,
that aspect.
His last opponent, Jose Lopez, I knew nothing about him going into the fight, and even leaving the fight, I still don't know anything about him. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And then Rolly is with the Mayweather camp. You know, he has, this is a point that Rolly told us. He's like, why do you guys keep bringing up the Canelo team? I have a great team too.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm in the Mayweather camp. Like, he gets a lot of good sparring. He gets a lot of good training. And I'm actually back him up with that point. He is right. He does have really good trainers, good sparring partners there. And so he is getting that experience there. So
and he said he's sticking with his team, right?
He's sticking with
his trainers and his corner. Which that's what Canelo did, and he used to get a lot of criticism for it. So I can respect that from Rolly. Yeah. But just to summarize this fight or this event, I thought it was a good event. I enjoyed it. I mean, I was just chilling at home. It was live on the Zone, right? Yeah. So I was in bed just watching it, and it was a good little spectacle. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Like you said, it was good seeing De La Hoya and Canelo there. They're backing him up. They're polishing him to be this next, the next superstar, the next face of boxing, and the years to come. So yeah, this is exciting. He has an exciting style. He knows how to bring in the people, and we just want to see him with better competition. In the years to come. So
yeah, he's still 20 years old.
Still very young.
Still very young, man. The only difference between Ryan Garcia and like 99% of other fighters is that at 20 years old, he's already getting so much attention. Yeah. Right.
That's true.
That's the only reason. Like so many people are like, oh, he should start fighting a big name already. But it's still very early on in his career. What is it? 18 fights.
18 fights. Yeah.
18 fights. And like I said, it's the only difference between him and most of these other boxers. They don't get that exposure when they have 15 fights, when they have 17 fights, 18 fights, right? And he's getting that exposure. So I think he should just take it step by step, right? Don't rush it. They're saying that he's gonna fight for a world title by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing about this is something I hear a lot about these fighters in this generation that very early on they're already like jumping for that title, and it's like you gotta kind of pay your dues first, And I think Anthony Sims Jr. like said this best. Once you get that title, like where do you go from there?
Yeah, once you get that peak, what's next, you know?
Yeah, and to do it very like early on. Yeah, I think they just need to slow it down just a little bit. Obviously, of course, they're gonna say these things, you know, for publicity or etc. But yeah, this is where you take advice from old school and take it slow. So do that grind, but time and place.
Yeah, I agree. And he's in good hands, Oscar, right?
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Like we said before, he was a superstar as a boxer, and now he's doing it as a successful promoter. So
Yeah.
I think he's in good hands. Not everybody could be like Lomachenko, right? Straight off the bat, start fighting for world titles, right? But even then, Lomachenko was already like what, 26?
He was 20. Yeah,
27.
He was older.
You know. So
2 Olympic gold medals.
Yeah,
so.
all the amateur experience in the world.